What's going on, you guys? Today we are taking a look at the MMC reformatted series Bovis. Specifically, this guy is R03 Mercenary Specialist Bovis. It's not Tantrum. So I actually pre-ordered this guy back in January of 2013, and it is finally in my hands. I got it earlier this week. I am so glad to finally get a hold of this guy. Box is really nice, high quality cardboard. Love the opening. Love, love, love this artwork. Just absolutely adore this artwork. And then the nice figure window. So let's open them up and take a look. First, we're going to take a look at the accessories. And the first accessory you're going to notice right out of the box is this gigantic twin mortar launcher. Now, it does actually store the fists of Feral King. So if the fist is unfolded, nice pointy fist. We're going to just fold up the fist like you would on pretty much any figure you could think of. And this actually gets stored here in the mortar cannon. So you just attach it on like that. You got yourself a big arse mortar cannon. It's pretty heavy. I mean, this thing's pretty hefty. It is not light. Next up, we have his twin carbines, or catalytic carbines. They're just nice, shiny guns. You always need some nice, shiny guns to blow stuff up. And last but not least, we have his electro daggers. Love the look of these things. Nice paint on them, very spiky. Now these, along with the other handheld sword-like weapons from the other Feral Cons, or Feral Cons, are, well, they all form a giant blazing sword of pokey death. So, yeah. The last thing we're going to talk about is this ID card that he comes with. This is a really, really nice, high-quality card. I mean, this thing doesn't have a lot of flex to it. It's nice, it's hefty, it's really well done. Very much appreciate this nice card. And finally, we have Bovis in all his bovine robot glory. This thing's pretty freaking awesome. I gotta admit, I wasn't sure what to make of this, but this guy is big. I'll do a size comparison here in a second. And whoops, I have a slight mistransformation here on his legs. Sorry about that. Those should be out like that. But yeah, we've got this figure's really nice looking, guys. I mean, it's really good looking. I don't know how much more I can say about that. I love the color scheme. I love the detailing. It's obvious what he transforms into, but overall, the paint scheme is really well done. The plastic feels wonderful. I mean, this is masterpiece level quality of plastic with this guy. In fact, he feels much better than Hyper Novae, or Nova Prime, which I reviewed earlier. Just an excellent all-around feeling figure. Another top-notch quality thing, I think, is the face. They managed to get the paint on the head and the rest of the body to match. Hasbro seems to not be able to do that with a lot of figures, but I love the look of the face. He just looks meanly constipated or angrily constipated. Posability for this guy is excellent. Head is on kind of a limited ball joint. In fact, the head is the worst posable thing on the figure. You can do 360 and a little bit of back and forth movement, and that's about it. Arms are on ball joints, and then some hinges that flip out like that, though that looks really weird. Swivels underneath that, double hinge for the elbow. Fists do not rotate. Or wait, maybe they do. Yes, they do, sorry. This one over here wasn't rotating at first, but yes, the fists do rotate. There is torso articulation, part of the transformation. Ratchet joints for in and out and forward and back movement in the legs, swivels just above the knee, and then the knees give a good full 90-degree bend, and then the feet are on these, I'm not sure, these struts that move back and forth. You do have to be a little bit careful with the feet, as they do have a tendency to make him fall over, but that's what these little shin guards here are for. They hold him up very well. The only complaint I have about him in this mode are these bits here on the side of his legs. They're supposed to peg in, but as you can see, they don't line up. I'm not sure how well that's showing up, but right here, they just don't line up. There's not enough clearance, clearance. The hinge here that the piece is attached to isn't long enough for it to actually peg into place. I don't know if that's an issue with other people's Bovi, but yeah, it's definitely an issue with mine. Fully loaded with all of his weaponry, he looks awesome. I just absolutely love the overall look of this figure. Loaded down with that giant back cannon, and then he's got his daggers connected to his forearms and holding the guns. He just looks freaking awesome. And I am smitten with this figure, especially in robot mode. Just, it looks so cool. I'm so glad I got a hold of him. All right, guys, time for the transformation. And I gotta say, this is an interesting transformation. It's a bit more complicated than you might think. To start off with, let's take the fists and fold both fists up into the forearms. Now, something I did notice earlier when I first opened the toy is mine is damaged right out of the box. I don't know how well that's coming off on camera, but you can see the damage on the plastic ratchets. That makes this thing very hard to pose the figure's right arm. Left arm, perfectly fine. Right arm, damaged. Anyway, okay, so we folded up the hands into the forearms. Then we will push on the head and fold that up into the bull head. Then take the whole body and twist it around. And when you do that, you'll move these little dials and these side skirt pieces. So we'll just want to move those with it. And then take these bits that I had mistransformed earlier and fold them onto the back of the figure, like so. All right, so we've got the feet pointing towards the front and then the torso pointing towards the back. Next, we're going to come up to the top of the figure and unpeg the bovine feet from the backs of the shoulders. Then take the shoulders and flip them completely around like that. Whoop. Oh no! Parts popping off all over the place. And I'm sorry, guys. I had this mistransformed for you when I first brought him out. He is supposed to look like this, with the shoulders facing forward, not folded back. When they're folded back like that, that is part of the transformation. And dang it, this one shoulder keeps coming apart. Now that I have repaired the figure, we're going to just fold the arms up, and they are supposed to peg in place, but right there, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So just get that pegged up in there, hopefully, please, come on. Yeah, this one side does not like to be pegged in, so I'm just gonna have to deal. Yeah, see, it just keeps popping out. So then we flip the bovine arms around, and they will snap into place. Getting these guys snapped in is sometimes not that easy. There we go. And flip them around and flip the hooves around. Okay, now for the back. And you know what, guys? I am a freaking moron. Yep, I am a complete and total doof. Because with the figure, you want to have the robot chest pointing up towards the sky. So we want to turn the front arms around like that. And we want these little arrows pointing forward. And that way, it looks more like a bull as opposed to a bull with giant shoulders. Yeah, that looks better. For the legs, now let's see if I can not screw this up. Just kind of position these pieces just out of the way as best you can, and then fold out the backs of the legs. And then we want to take the feet, and you know how see how the feet has an opening here? We want to push it and point it so that the feet are pointing directly behind the figure, and then flip the feet through. Flip the back of this panel through that hole, twist it around, and then get it pegged into the back part of the panel. So do the same thing on this side, like that. With the panels still open, just get everything situated here. Fold the rear bits up and try not to royally screw it up, like I'm doing currently. Unfortunately, this suffers from the same thing that all third-party figures suffer from. Things get in the way. Fold the feet back, flip these up like that, and they will peg in. And then we just take the rear bits and unpeg the bottom bovine pieces, and flip them up and peg them into place, and then get the feet all situated. And here we have the bull form, all transformed and ready for some action. Might want to just twist these horns a little bit. Overall, I think the bull mode is quite good. It looks really nifty. It's a little bit oddly proportioned, but I can forgive that. He does have a mouth opening gimmick, so let me just get my thumb in here and open his mouth, and oh dear God, the robot is staring at you from his mouth! Adding the weapons to his beast mode does make him look a little weird, not gonna lie. But overall, I do like it. I think it looks pretty cool, and it looks just mean and nasty. And I think I missed a little bit of transformation there. Nope, never mind. Hey, this is a pretty cool figure, I have to admit. I'm pretty impressed, not gonna lie. His final trick for the evening is turning into a foot. So disconnect the cannon here and fold up the connector port. Then kind of turn the bit back here off to the side and pull out the fist. And take this black piece back here, fold it up, and twist it around. And that's it. That's all we got to do to prepare for the foot. For Bovis himself, though, a little bit more preparation is required. Twist the head around in bull mode and fold it up, and it'll peg into that peg hole back there. Take the legs, the rear legs, and simply fold them up to the way that you had them before you transformed the figure. And do the same thing over here. And fold them down so that the little missile launchers are pointing forward. And again, as you can see on both sides, there's just not enough clearance for that part to peg into place. For the arms, or the front arms, point them to the sky and then unpeg them from the sides of the animal mode. Turn the figure around and swing them down and situate them, such that these front pegs come together like this. And I'm doing a terrible job of showing it to you. And then there are peg holes on the back of the figure that you just want to get everything lined up to and pegged into place. And then the feet, and the actual feet, will turn and twist around, and they will peg into these struts sticking out. So I just leave them loosely pegged in. I don't make the pegs tight. And then finally, there is a connector port right in here that you ratchet up into place, but I'm just not going to do that for you right now. And finally, you split the figure in half, and then there is a specific spot for this black piece between the bovine legs, and they'll just drop into place. And here we have the foot mode. So he's going to have quite a range of articulation when fully combined. Oh, and he also has toe articulation. The cannons are articulated. I mean, geez. So, yeah, mighty foot. For scale on the size of the foot, here's Classics Prime and MP10 Prime. Just to give you guys an idea on the size that this guy, that Feral Rex is going to be. This is going to be pretty big. And here's the size comparison for robot mode. Overall, MMC Bovis is freaking awesome. Plain and simple. The plastic is of high quality. The figure is a lot of fun. He's big and he is worth every penny. There are a few little problems that I just don't care for. He's a little bit fiddly when you've got him all armored up with all of his guns. Little top heavy in both modes. Overall, though, he's a solid buy. So guys, I have been Spade of the Baltmatrix. You need to get this figure and you need to start collecting these Feral Cons. I'll catch you next time.